Let's start with a trick to learn how many books there are. If traveling Route 66, we'll need to fill the car. We can choose many stations, but if we are willing, the 66 reminds us that we need the filling. Reading God's Word fills up our tanks, and each book teaches us to give Him thanks. There are just 3 letters in the word old and 9 in Testament. We should be feeling bold. That'll help us remember there are 39 books. If we can read these in Hebrew, we sure would get some looks. New has 3 letters, and Testament has 9. Let's multiply those 2 numbers for a total very fine. 27 is the number of the books this time, written in Greek, so continue this rhyme. Now let's go on from here and learn of 4 sections. Remember the order and follow directions. 5, 12. 5 and 5 are the numbers in each that will keep us alive. Let's start with the Gospels. Most think there are 4, but we'll add in Luke 2 so the doctor's not poor. They walked with Jesus and wrote books on what all should base their lives upon. Matthew and Mark, Luke and John, and Acts Luke wrote of the church's dawn. It's not that Jesus was crucified, but was resurrected after he died. The Gospels lead each one to decide if we want his Spirit living inside. Next are Paul's letters to churches as the original Mr. T. These 12 books will help us be sure of our eternity. Paul, born again on Damascus Road, his letters to churches could not be slowed. Romans, then Corinthians 1 and 2, General Electric Power Company ensue. Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, when rain comes from heaven, we should wear our Galatians. Some try to remember with God eats popcorn, but our lives aren't just movies from when we were born. God doesn't just watch as our lives unfold. He's part of our lives with love greater than gold. Paul suffered from an eye disease and wrote 5 letters beginning with T's. They're arranged alphabetically. He wrote them, though 'twas hard to see. Thessalonians letters 1 and 2 tell us that Jesus is returning to get his crew. 1st and 2nd Timothy, and then we have Titus, and we are so thankful God chose to invite us. Any book in the Bible beginning with T will be found in this section. It's easy. Whoopee! This next section of 5 is mostly P's. Since it starts with a P, we should all say please. We start with PH, then JPP. The words of these books teach us just how to be. Philemon's another letter written by Paul to a slave owner he just couldn't call. He probably wrote to the Hebrews too. Paul knew what it meant to think like a Jew. Serve Philemon yon to the Hebrews for dinner. When the just live by faith, it will make each a winner. James wrote a book, and then 1 and 2 Peter. These apostles show just how to follow the leader. We made it to the final 5 books. The first 4 are J's, which look like fish hooks. 1 John, 2 John, 3 John 2. Then Jude, Revelation, and now we are through. John wrote these books, well, 4 out of 5, with one by Hey Jude, just 1 chapter, no jive. As we get to the finish, now filled with elation, we see unfulfilled prophecies all through Revelation, and we know that the Lord never breaks his word through his grace or mercy or food for a bird. We know that he is 100% love, even when his judgments come down from above. On a sinful earth that just can't see, both his love and his wrath are done mercifully. Let's memorize those books right now. We know there's 27. Let's start with the Gospels, books before Jesus returned to heaven. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Read these 5 and handle attacks. Now the letters to the churches written by Paul. We should read these often so we will not fall. Romans, then Corinthians 1 and 2. General Electric Power Company will do. Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. When rain comes from heaven, we wear our Galatians. Now 5 more from Paul, the first Mr. T, all 5 arranged alphabetically. Thessalonians 1 and 2, Timothy 1 and 2, Titus, Lord, invite us as we want your worldview. Now we serve Philemon Yan to the Hebrews for dinner, read James and 2 Peters, if we know we're a sinner. Let's finish with 5 and 4 start with J, which looks like a fishhook. They'll feed us each day. 1 John, 2 John, and 3 John have power. Hey Jude and Revelation for Earth's final hour. Now we know the names in order, so next on our list is to memorize many verses, as all were God-kissed.